What if I told you that we're on the edge of a major health crisis, but the solution might be hiding in a drink that's been around for literally thousands of years? Well, today, we're diving deep into the incredible science of kefir and finding out how this ancient fermented drink is becoming a brand new frontier in modern medicine. To really get why kefir is suddenly so important, we have to start with a pretty serious question. You see, for decades, we've had a secret weapon against harmful bacteria, antibiotics. But what happens when our best weapons just stop working? Now, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot. That's a direct quote from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. They're saying we have already entered the post-antibiotic era. That means the race is on to find new ways to fight infections, and that urgency sets the stage for everything we're about to cover. And you know where one of the main battlegrounds in this fight is? It's not just in hospitals. It's inside every single one of us. It's in our gut. I want you to imagine your gut as this massive, bustling city just teeming with trillions of tiny microorganisms. This incredible ecosystem is your microbiome. And just like any big city, for it to really thrive, it needs balance. It needs harmony. When that microbial city is balanced and running smoothly, we call it harmony. But when things get out of whack, when the bad guys start to take over, it creates a state of chaos called dysbiosis. And believe me, this isn't a small problem. This kind of imbalance is linked to a whole host of chronic issues, from gut diseases to obesity, type 2 diabetes, and even neurological disorders. So just how big of a deal is this? Well, let's put a number on it. The World Health Organization says that enteric pathogens, that's the bad bacteria that infect our gut, are to blame for a staggering 350 million illnesses in a single year. This is a massive global health crisis, and it desperately needs a new kind of hero. Okay, so where are we going to find this new hero? Well, believe it or not, the answer might just be hiding in a tradition that's centuries, even millennia old. Let's talk about kefir. So kefir comes from the Caucasus Mountains. The story goes that shepherds carrying milk in leather pouches found it would ferment into this tangy, slightly fizzy drink. It's made using these things called kefir grains, which, by the way, aren't grains at all, like wheat or rice. They're actually a living, breathing community of good bacteria and yeasts all working together. It's a SCOBY.
Now, what's kefir's secret sauce? It's all about diversity. It's not just one or two types of microbes doing the work. It's a whole complex team of lactic acid bacteria, acetic acid bacteria, and a bunch of different yeasts. This incredible biodiversity is really where it gets its power.
Right about now, you're probably thinking, hey, isn't this basically just like kombucha? And that's a fair question. While they're both awesome fermented drinks, they're actually pretty different. They come from totally different parts of the world, they rely on different teams of microbes, and they're made with different stuff. Milk or sugar water for kefir versus sweetened tea for kombucha. So you've got this ancient food packed with all these different microbes. How do you figure out which ones are the real MVPs? How do you find the superheroes in the crowd? Well, you make them run a gauntlet. And that's exactly what a group of researchers in Singapore decided to do. Their goal was brilliant. They didn't want to just study kefir as a whole drink. They wanted to pinpoint the individual superstore microbes that could become our most powerful allies against pathogens. First things first, they had to round up all the candidates. They started by isolating a whopping 158 different microbial strains from local kefir grains. That gave them this huge library of potential probiotics to put to the test. Next up, they had to figure out who was who. Think of it like a roll call for microbes. Using gene sequencing, they were able to put a name to every single face in the crowd, identifying precisely which species they were dealing with. All right, this is where things get really tough. It's basically probiotic boot camp. See, for a probiotic to do any good, it first has to survive the incredibly harsh journey through your stomach acid and bile. So the researchers tested every single strain. Only the toughest ones, the ones that could survive and stick to intestinal cells, made it to the next round. And this step, this one is absolutely critical. It's all about safety. The scientists took the top contenders and did whole genome sequencing. They essentially read the entire genetic instruction book for each microbe. They were scanning for any red flags, like genes for antibiotic resistance, or anything else that could be harmful. They had to make sure their heroes wouldn't accidentally turn into villains. Okay, so after that incredibly intense screening process, after running that brutal gauntlet, it was finally time to take the champions and assemble them into a probiotic super team. Get this, from that initial group of 158 candidates, only 7 elite bacterial strains made the final cut. Just 7. These were the absolute best of the best, tough, safe, and effective. The researchers then brought them together to create this powerhouse kefir probiotic blend. So, the million-dollar question, did it actually work? Oh, yeah, it worked. The results were just dramatic. On the left, you can see how easily harmful pathogens attach to gut cells. That's our 100% baseline. But when they introduced the kefir blend first, look at that massive drop. The good guys were basically forming a protective shield, blocking the bad guys from ever getting a foothold. So this is all super cool research, right? But what does it actually mean for us in the real world? What's the future for these super probiotics?
This is where it gets really exciting, because this research blows the doors wide open for delivering kefir's benefits in whole new ways. We're talking about much more than just a drink. We're looking at precise, targeted systems like capsules, tablets, or even adding these probiotics into other functional foods. It means we can get the right probiotics to the right place in the gut, exactly where they're needed most.
And this brings us right back, full circle, to where we started. In an age where antibiotic resistance is a growing threat, this kind of research gives us a powerful new tool for our arsenal. It's not about replacing antibiotics completely, but it gives us a safe, natural, and incredibly effective way to restore balance to our gut and help protect us from disease. You know, it's pretty amazing when you stop and think about it. As we're looking for answers to some of the biggest challenges in medicine today, it's fascinating to realize a solution might have been with us all along, just bubbling away in a simple, ancient drink. It really makes you wonder, could the future of medicine actually be fermented?